Okay. Hello and welcome to this fantastic interview that's going to be. I'm David O'Callaghan and I'm here with the absolutely amazing Paula Hawkins, runaway bestseller, The Phenomenon of 2015. It's just gone bananas, absolutely, since January and worldwide, and it's great to have you here in Eason and in Ireland. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
First things first, how has your 2015 been?
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not too bad so far. Quite bizarre. It's all been quite overwhelming.
Yeah.
I've been to the States. I've been doing a bit of touring in the UK. Now I'm here in Ireland, so it's been very good fun.
You did a kind of a bizarre city hop around America, did you?
I did. It was a kind of a strange schedule, which involved crossing the whole United States about 4 times in the space of a week. So it was fun. I enjoyed it.
And it's as I said, it's literally run out of the traps, and the fact that it's both sides, both UK, Ireland, Europe, America, all simultaneously. There's been no slow build. It's just been we're here and we're gone. Runaway train, that's what they call it.
Yeah.
So your previous life, I suppose you'd call it, was a financial writer talking about pensions and taxes, all stuff that I absolutely adore, and I'm getting sleepy already. And then you were writing under a pseudonym for women's popular fiction.
Yep. And
then this happened.
Well, yes. As you said, I wrote 4 books under a pseudonym, and I enjoyed doing them, but they didn't really come from me, they didn't come from my heart, and they kept getting darker and darker, and more terrible things kept happening to all the characters. And it was clear to me that that crime, the thriller genre, was where I belonged.
Yeah.
So I decided I would just make the break, put my name on the book, and really go for it, which I did, and I'm very happy that I did so.
And how did I know you used to get the underground, the tube a lot, and obviously that was embedded, hidden away, but how did you just suddenly, what made you go this way in this journey?
Well, I like a lot of writers, I suppose. I've had loads of different ideas knocking around in my head. This was something I've been thinking about for a long time, this idea of witnessing something on your commute, because loads of people do that commute. You see the same things every day, and it almost becomes, you just blur it out until one day something pops up and strikes you. And I wondered about what you would do if you saw something shocking or sinister. And then I also had this character, Rachel, who's the protagonist of The Girl on the Train, who's this very messed up, depressed, alcoholic woman. And when it just sort of came to me that it would be an idea to put her on the train. Yeah. And then it all came together. Yeah,
her character is one of those. You feel so much for her, but it's it's like watching those TV shows or those other things where you're watching it through your hand, because once the gin in the tin opens up, you're like, oh no, you start rocking back and forth going, here we go. And why do you think people have just attached on, she's such a different character than what normally would be a person's hero or thing, and why do you think people have latched onto her and really have
I think there's an element of Rachel. She makes you, a lot of people feel a lot of sympathy for her. I think an awful lot of people maybe have one friend, not exactly like her, but that slightly messy friend you have where, so I think a lot of people can recognise something in her, and they know she's not a terrible person, but you kind of want to take her and go, no, just go home and have a cup of tea, stop this. So she draws you in, I think, and you want to follow her on her journey, hopefully getting out of the mess she's got herself into.
And it's true that a lot of people in the States wouldn't believe there was such a thing as gin in the tin.
I was asked that question a lot. Really? Does that exist?
Sounds amazing. When we getting it? Yeah. The unreliable genre, unreliable narrator, I suppose is what you call it. It lives and dies by the twists and the blind sides and the thing. And to me personally, with all those other things, and add in the fact that if the twist doesn't work, then I think because yours works so well, I think that's what propelled it to another level also. And on that, did you have 7 versions of the twists, or was it always, without, obviously, notice we're not really talking about plot here because there's no point, you just got to read this book and that's it. Did you have multiple endings that you had to eventually commit to one, or did you always think it was going to end the way it ended?
I knew sort of basically where it was going, but there were other smaller detours and things that sort of came to me as I was writing.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of the difficult things to do is to tie up a thriller successfully. That is quite a difficult thing to do when you've laid out all your red herrings and you've offered up all these possibilities. To tie that together satisfyingly, I think you've got to be very careful, and you don't want to twist too many times because then the reader starts to think, oh God, this is ridiculous.
It's called Broadchurch Season 2. Controversial but true. And and obviously, it's just bizarre. Like, the book is only out, and already people are talking about the next book. There's obviously going to be the movie is already just talks of that. I read recently, or literally last night, because it was only came up last night, is that your next book is again female led. It's set in the north of England, and while it's not witches, there's a kind of a spin on that.
It's got a sort of very gothic feel to it. I've set it in a fictional location, but somewhere where in the north of England, Scottish borders is somewhere where they did have women were persecuted as witches. Yeah. So there's this sort of deep background to it. It's not actually about that, but that kind of informs the story to some degree, and I hope the sort of atmosphere of menace and creepiness will seep through.
Fantastic. Well, that's it. It's been a pleasure. It's absolutely. I'm telling you now, people. This is if you haven't. It's summer read. It's spring read. It's winter read. It's absolutely stressful. You may need gin in a tin after reading it. But thank you very much for coming in, and good luck with the rest of your world tour, because that's what it now is. And we'll see you again sometime. Thank you.
Thank you very much.